we must understand there is a base, a kind of substratum to what you are calling attention, and that is the human mind. Because attention is a property of your mind. If this base is not worked upon, if it is not cultivated a bit, you will not be able to maintain long attention spans. I can illustrate this to you, what this base means, through a story, which is very interesting. You see, Zen masters used to have a number of students. This is a story which actually took place. So one of these students, which a Zen master had, many times they would teach them concentration through martial arts. Because in martial arts also, you need a certain amount of concentration. So he would teach his students archery just to train them in concentration. One of his students, who was a young monk, he was very proud of his archery skills. He could shoot straight at a tree, and when the arrow would get fixed to the tree, he could use another arrow to split that arrow. So he had gained mastery over this. And so he was very proud of it, and he would go about telling the other students that I'm able to do this so quickly, just like my master, just like the Zen master. So when the teachers heard this and saw this, he thought, well, this fellow should be taught a lesson. This is a very small skill. With practice, you can do this. But there's so much more to be acquired. So let me just show him what the worth of this skill is. So one day he took all the students to a particular mountainous region where they came across a ravine. And in that ravine, it was a small ravine, but a tree had fallen in such a way so as to bridge the gap in the ravine, and the trunk of the tree was across like this. Now, this was a very dangerous, a precarious situation actually, as you can see, because if one wanted to go on the other side, one had to go over the tree. And the teacher, the Zen master, he quickly climbed that trunk of tree, went to the center of that ravine. There was a huge canyon there. So if he fell, he would go right rock bottom and, well, he would be killed. So all the students were just looking like this, and he went there, stood firmly in the middle of that tree trunk, and shot an arrow at a tree, and shot another arrow which split that arrow. Then he quietly moved across and went to the other side. Now his students were watching this. Even this student, who was very proud of his skills, he was also watching it. And then the teacher said, okay, come on, now you do it. And now this fellow was stricken with fear. What if I fall? What if I lose my balance? And it is such a dangerous situation. I can't do it. But then how can he make a fool of himself in front of the other students? He's so proud of his skill. So somehow he went there. And he managed to stand up in the middle of that ravine, in the middle of that tree which was fallen like that. And then he was so fearful within, so panic-stricken, that he actually could not shoot his arrow at all. He tried to do it, and it went somewhere. And then he just sat down there and started crying and weeping and said, please save me. I am too full of fear to actually do what you are asking me to do. Please save me in this situation. And then the teacher came and held his hand and led him out of that situation. Then he told him, look, my son, skill alone is not enough. The mind must be calm. The mind must be without negativity. If your mind is in a very balanced state, you can muster the attention to do anything. If the mind, the platform for your attention, is absolutely restless and shaky, you see, you cannot do anything. And life situations are such. Many times you will have to balance on beams. Many times you will have to face situations where your reaction can be very immediate. Your reaction can be very negative. In those situations, to maintain a balanced state of mind so that you can keep your attention on what you want to achieve is very important. So more important than skills you can develop with practice, is the platform you provide for those skills, your mind. And that is why work on your mind. Then stabilize your hand, develop the skill, and you will achieve success anywhere.